Right, so this is a suggestion via channel member. Guys, the name of the video is immediately. Trump orders Department of War to start nuke testing. All right, let's go and jump into it. Let's see what this video takes us, guys. Why though?
All right, earlier tonight on Truth Social, President Trump announced that he has ordered the Department of War to start once again testing nuclear weapons and wants that process to begin immediately.
Okay.
He said the new testing program is in response to other nations testing their weapons. Here with a lot more on that as we await the start of this historic sit-down between the president and President Xi of China. We have Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas with us. Senator, good to have you. I can go back. I'll read the entire statement because I think it's deep and I think it's profound and I think it's important. And I think it really is a moment that we better pay very close attention to. And as blunt as the president was, he was blunt here. The U.S. has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished, including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second. China is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years. Because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process begins immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Yeah, guys, I definitely hope that we never kind of get to the point where we actually have to utilize these absolute monstrosities, guys. Truth be told, here, that is absolute human annihilation. That's what that's all that it is here. Like I understand other nations are testing it, but I'm definitely an advocate for not even utilizing it. Use it as a deterrent, obviously, but hopefully we'll never actually have to need it.
Your take on that?
Well, Sean, I think President Trump is once again reflecting sentiment that President Reagan had in the 1980s. They both regretted the necessity of nuclear weapons. They dreamed of a world in which we might not have nuclear weapons.
Not need them, right.
But as long as adversaries like communist Russia back in the day, and today Russia and communist China have nuclear weapons and they're rapidly expanding their arsenal and they're testing their weapons, the United States can't afford to unilaterally disarm. That we have to make sure that our nuclear arsenal is second to none, that it won't be overmatched by the combined forces of Russia and China. That our aging weapons are still usable, and that our new weapons are designed and made properly. So I agree with what President Trump has announced. It's only sensible that in a world when Russia and China are threatening the United States with a rapidly growing and novel nuclear arsenal, that we have to take steps to defend our way of life. Because
Not
that's
novel,
what
guys.
Our nuclear arsenal does. It truly defends our way of life.
Right, it does. Like I get it. I mean, that makes all the sense in the world. Again, I would say, utilize it as some type of deterrent. That's basically where we are. And obviously, we need to always maintain a supply, let's say, that is equal or greater than the combined force specifically of Russia along with China. Just to let them know, guys, right? Like, so for example, the concept of disarming, though, that's a little bit silly. It's a little bit silly because what immediately happens is that now the big bad guys out there, specifically our literal adversaries, are looking at us like we're food.
It really does by every measure. I will tell you this, if you look at your screen, it looks like the motorcade, President Trump has already arrived moments ago. It looks like the motorcade, I have to assume, of President Xi is pulling up now as we speak. And this historic meeting, it is, I can see a Chinese flag on the front of that car. And again, on the agenda, the importation of American agriculture, specifically soybeans, TikTok, rare earths, tariffs, the importation by China of Russian oil, and I'm sure issues involving Taiwan and other issues around the world, fentanyl, a lot of heavy things on the table. I did talk to the president briefly. He seemed optimistic, but he lives for these moments. He loves to sit. He loves to talk. He loves to negotiate.
Yeah, Sean, what you heard from the president earlier today is what I've heard from him in the last week or two as well. He has our farmers close to his heart, our rice farmers and soybean farmers in Arkansas, for instance. He's very worried about our manufacturers who've had lost so many jobs over the last few decades to China. He's worried that China has developed genuine leverage over the United States in some
In terms
critical
of,
points, like rare earth elements that are so vital to modern manufacturing.
well,
China has done this by waging
yeah,
economic war against our farmers and our manufacturers and our high-tech industry for decades. For
to a
too
certain
long,
extent.
we turned the other cheek and didn't pay attention to it. We
Yeah, guys. I mean, absolutely, they're not wrong here. I definitely would say that the Belt and Road Initiative, specifically going on in all over like sub-Saharan Africa, specifically, that absolutely helped their rare earth minerals. Because what do? You guys give them crazy loans they can't cover, and then trade out their rare earth minerals. That's what happens.
acquiesce to it. Thankfully, President Trump is not doing that. He's standing up to China. You and I, and frankly, no one can know exactly what will be accomplished this morning because, as they say, nothing is settled until everything is settled.
Right.
But fortunately, President Trump is going in clear-eyed and hard-nosed.
It looks like that's Monica Crowley greeting President Xi, if I'm not mistaken. I'm only seeing the back of his head, but I'm assuming that is him and his delegation out of the motorcade now entering the building where President Trump is awaiting, who had just arrived a little bit earlier. You know, it's very interesting in the lead up to all of this. You know, there's been a lot of posturing, a lot of back and forth. One of the issues that really stands out to me, rare earths are way more important than I think most people know. You would know because of your position in Congress and in the Senate. And that is, it is imperative, for example, magnets for auto manufacturing. It is imperative for our military development and equipment. But leading up to this meeting, the president did make a huge rare earth deal with 3 countries. He made it with
Which ones?
Australia,
Australia,
Japan, and now South Korea.
Okay.
That gave him leverage. I
Okay.
believe all of these maneuvers,
I mean, guys, we definitely need to start chasing cobalt a little bit more.
you know, put him in a much better negotiating position, no? I mean, of course, the development
Yeah.
here domestically.
Truth be told.
Yeah, no doubt, Sean. And it was great news today that the president and President Lee of South Korea reached a big trade deal. That's going to be great for American farmers and ranchers, our manufacturers, our defense industry.
Absolutely.
And as you
It
said,
will.
it is going to give the president more leverage if we have more avenues to import rare earth elements and their finished components from countries like Australia and Japan and South Korea, which is, say, friendly allied nations. Again, it's unfortunate that for too many decades, America ignored China's growing leverage in some of these places. President Trump is committed to eliminating that leverage, to making sure that we have supply chains for vital products that are not dependent upon China. So today's news about another trade deal in South Korea is a great gust of wind in our sails as President Trump sits down with Xi. And again, I know that we can't say exactly what's going to happen. Nothing is settled until everything is settled. But I know that he's going in very clear-eyed and hard-nosed in defense of America's interests.
You know, we've had real concerns about the algorithms and the makeup of TikTok. That's going to be a big issue as well. It looks like that deal is kind of, at least on paper, laid out, where I assume that China will pay us a certain amount of money for that. And I assume that we will control the algorithms as it relates to it working within the U.S.
Okay.
Would you assume that as well?
Hopefully, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
If you
Sean,
kinda
that's what the law calls for.
get the
Congress
garbage
passed a law
out.
last year with overwhelming majorities. It wasn't a law to ban TikTok. It was a law to try to force TikTok to break its ties to communist China.
Okay.
And you put your finger on the critical question, control of the algorithm. Will control of the TikTok algorithm be in the hands of its new American owners and engineers, or will it remain in the hands of communist China?
Right.
The parent company ByteDance. If it's in the
Right.
hands of Americans, then it's really just another social media app like Facebook or
To a certain extent.
Instagram or
Yeah, guys, listen, hold on. See, the problem with TikTok is, I mean, it's a multifaceted issue, obviously, but I do think it comes down to the fact that in China specifically, you know, where TikTok is from, if you go to China, open up TikTok, you'll start to realize that everything is basically education, education forward, education first. There's not a lot of like the social, you know, blue hair, septum ring garbage that exists in the United States of America. They know exactly how to ruin us, guys. Make something super, you know, uh, palatable to the masses, let's say, shorten attention spans instead of making things educational exclusively, right? You know, shorten the attention spans and then give the algorithm to the most irrelevant people in our history. Okay. That's what TikTok is right now. That's what it is. All right. And that's the difference between the United States of America TikTok, Western TikTok, basically culture destroying garbage that is basically pushed from like some of the most like terrible thinking people you can imagine. People that don't even think, they just feel with their feelings, guys, right? Like if you think of this gigantic shift that we had in the United States of America over the last decade, blame it on TikTok. I'm telling you, and blame it on what China has basically pushed through the algorithm that's basically been dedicated to the United States of America versus the super mainstreamed education that basically exists on the platform for TikTok in China. All right, understand what they're doing here. Teaching education, saying education is the most important thing, rather than in the United States of America, purple hair, blue hair, all types of crazy flags, right, and septum rings. That's TikTok. Oh, I hate men. Let's weaken all the men. Yeah, that's what TikTok is here. All right. So yeah, I definitely would think personally, depending on who gets it, because listen, if the state of California gets it, then you already got you know they're gonna keep pushing that. They love that. They love all of that, guys, right? So depending, like I said, depending on who actually gets TikTok, that will basically define exactly what's to come next from it. Let's just say that there. But all right, listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, catch you guys later. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.